welcome everybody to yoga. If this is your first time joining in the Thunderwell yoga classes, welcome. My name is Mimi and I've been teaching for Thundermist for a while and really appreciate this opportunity to share yoga with folks, especially for free. You're not going to need anything special for this class tonight, just your mat. If you've got a little bit of water, you might want to have that. You also might want a pillow or a blanket. But other than that, you shouldn't need anything. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to start on our backs. So go ahead and come down onto your back. And again, you might want a pillow for under your head, but it's not necessary, just a matter of your own comfort. And as you come down onto your back, go ahead and bend your knees. And as you bend your knees, see if you can feel your lower back relax to the floor. You can rest your hands either on your belly or down by your side, whatever feels most comfortable. And just take a few moments here at the beginning of class to just kind of gather yourself up. Especially if you've had a really busy day, maybe you take this as an opportunity to let the energy settle, to slow things down. Especially if you've had a busy day, maybe this is your first chance to really connect inward and see how you're doing. So a lot of times we're just so busy going from task to task and commitment to commitment that we don't even have time to just see how we're doing, to do a temperature check, to assess. So beginning that process now, just checking out what's going on with you physically. Maybe scanning your body, but from the soles of your feet up to the crown of your head, bit by bit, inch by inch, noticing if there's any place that you're gripping or holding, any place that needs a little extra love or attention. Maybe you direct the breath there if it feels tight and urge the muscles to relax. And then just checking in and noticing your level of energy this evening. So are you feeling energetic or are you feeling a little tired? Does your energy feel kind of scattered or frenetic, or is it relatively calm and serene? Just taking note. And then similarly, noticing your state of mind. So again, it might be kind of scattered. It might be very busy. There might be a lot going on, or maybe you're just in that yoga zone already and your mind is pretty quiet and still and just focused on my words and what's going on in your mat and in your body. And then bringing attention to your heart space. Noticing any emotions or feelings that you're carrying with you onto your mat, knowing that there's a strong connection between how the body feels and how we're feeling emotionally, how we're feeling spiritually. So just checking that out. Maybe since the elections, you're feeling a little bit lighter of heart, lighter in the body and the spirit. I know that's the case for myself. And then lastly, just noticing how your breath is moving. Feeling its flow through the body. And then go ahead and bring your hands to your belly. Just let them rest there, cupping the belly with both palms. Feel the belly soften and rise up to fill the spaces of beneath your palms on your inhale. And then as you exhale, draw the belly backwards. And then inhale, soften the belly. Let it expand into the cup of your palms. And then exhale and release. Draw the belly back in. And then just keep that going, slow and steady. Inhaling, followed by exhale. And noticing the action in the belly. And then go ahead and bring your hands up to the rib cage. Letting the hands circle the ribs. Maybe you point your thumbs back just for ease and so that you can feel a little bit more of the rib cage. And now as you breathe, feel that expansion as you inhale, and then feel the way that the ribs knit in as you exhale. And continue for a few more cycles. Inhaling and drawing the breath in, and an exhale as the rib cage draws inward. And then take both hands, stack them right at the center of your chest, right on top of your heart. And as you inhale, fill and feel the breath in the belly, feel the breath in the rib cage. But let it come all the way up to the center of the heart and the space beneath your palms. And then let the breath go. And do that a few more times. And then letting the arms come down by your side. Go ahead and take a few final breaths, feeling the breath fan out to the whole body at this point, feeling the breath reaching to the furthest points, the fingers, the toes, the crown of the head. And then go ahead and open your eyes. And you're going to stretch your legs long. Stretch your arms overhead. And just reach. Take a big yawn. Reach through your fingers. Reach through your toes. Wiggle about some. And then draw your knees in towards your belly. Rock a little bit side to side. And then lower your feet to the floor and bring your hands to rest behind your head. Let your elbows drop outward. Your gaze is up towards the ceiling. And then just begin to curve your upper body to the right. So let's begin to curve to the right. Let your elbows relax downward. Feel that extension along the left-hand side of the rib cage. You can adjust your head so that it feels comfortable, relaxed. And then come back through the center and over to the other side. So you begin to curve the upper body, curve the torso to the left. The elbows are relaxing downward. And take a few more moments here. And then come on back through the center. You're going to walk your feet in a little bit closer, and then go ahead and squeeze your right knee in towards your belly. And once you do that, go ahead and begin to circle your ankle. And circle your ankle around in the other direction. Good. And then go ahead and interlace your fingers behind your thigh and hold your thigh in relatively close to your belly. And you're going to straighten your foot up towards the ceiling and then bend your knee. And straighten your foot up towards the ceiling and then bend your knee. And do it a few more times, just awakening the back of the leg and the hamstring. And then direct your leg to the ceiling and keep it there. And relax your arms down. You're going to begin to make circles with that leg. So very small circles, about 6 or 8 inches, going a few times in one direction. And then a few times in the other direction. And again, you're keeping your circles relatively small. Good. And then have your legs straight up over your hip. And we're going to do some big circles. So you're going to drop your legs straight down so that it hovers. And then swing it out to the right as far as you can and bring it straight back up. And we're going to do that 2 more times. So lower the leg so it's hovering. Swing it out to the right. And let it circle back up. And then 1 more time, lower the leg down, circle it out to the right, and let it come back up. And now we're going to reverse that. So bring the legs straight out to the right, and then circle around and up. Bring your legs straight out to the right, and then circle around and up. Last time, go ahead and circle that leg out and around and up. Good. And then bend your knee back in towards your chest. Squeeze it for a second. And then cross that ankle over your left thigh and allow your thigh to roll open. So you're making this kind of figure 4 shape with your legs. So we're going to do just a little bit of work for our hip flexor and our core here. With this cross the leg, you're going to pick up your left foot and then lower. And pick up your left foot, squeeze the legs in and lower. 1 more time, pick up the foot, squeeze the legs in, hold there, and then take your hands and bring them behind your left thigh. And if you can't quite get that grip, you could hold on to your pants. You could release and hold on to your right ankle. Take just a couple moments here, drawing the legs in, feeling that stretch to the outer right hip. Good, and then lower your foot down. And walk that left foot over to the left. Keep the right ankle crossed over the thigh, and then just let your legs fall down to the right. Arms can come out to the side, or maybe they bend slightly backwards like a soft cactus shape or goalpost. Take a couple moments here. Another breath. And then you'll inhale and let your legs come up. Uncross your legs, stretch them long, reach your arms overhead. Take a big yawn or a big stretch. And then squeeze your knees in towards your belly. Good. And then release your feet to the floor, and the knees are going to stay bent. Go ahead and squeeze your left knee in towards your belly. Catch the shin with your fingertips and begin to circle. And circle in the other direction. And point and flex. Wiggle your toes. And then maybe you interlace your fingers behind your thigh. And you're just going to bend and straighten that leg. So reaching the foot up towards the ceiling. And then bend. Reach the foot up towards the ceiling. And bend. Just do it a few times. No particular number. And then reach your foot up towards the ceiling. Relax your arms down. And we're going to do those little leg circles. So just about 6 inches or so, circling the leg to one direction. And circling in the other direction. Good, and then lands with your leg straight up from your hip. You're going to bring your leg straight down in front of you. Hover, and then swing it out to the left and let it come straight back up. 2 more times. Go ahead and lower it down. Swing your leg out to the left and bring it back up. And again, lower the leg towards the floor. Swing it out and up. And we're going to reverse that circle. So bringing the leg out first, swing it around to the front, and come back up. Let the leg come out to the side, swing around to the front, and come back up. And one last time, let the leg come out and around and up. And then bend your knee, lower your foot down, bring your hands to your belly. Just pause for a few breaths. Okay. You're going to take that ankle across your thigh and then pick up your right foot and interlace your fingers behind that thigh. Take a few breaths here. Another few moments. If it's hard to grip behind your leg, maybe you hold on to your ankle. Maybe you hold on to your clothing. Realizing I didn't do that lifting and lowering on this side. We'll skip it. And then lower your foot down. Walk your foot over to the right. And then allow your legs to fall down to the left. My mind is already in a sleepy mode because it's been dark for so long. Let's take a few more moments here. Another breath or two. And then inhale, and the legs are going to come up. Stretch them long, stretch arms overhead. Again, lengthening through the whole body. Good. And then draw your knees in towards your belly. You're going to rock yourself off to either direction, and you're going to come on up, and we're going to find a child's pose. So go ahead and bring big toes together. Let your knees open wide. You're going to sit your hips back and bow forward. Take a few big breaths into the back body. Another couple moments here. Good. And then come on up to a tabletop. Spread your palms. And it's going to do some cat-cows here, nice and simple. So you'll inhale and tilt the pelvis forward, opening up through the heart and the chest. And then exhale and round. Inhale, tilt the pelvis forward, open up the heart and the chest. Exhale and round. And let's go back and forth. Opening front body and opening back body. Good. And then eventually come to a neutral spine. You're going to walk your hands slightly forward of your shoulders and just begin to shift your hips around. So circling around in one direction and eventually circling around in the other direction. And then walk your hands back just a little bit. And you're going to tuck your toes under and come on up into a downward facing dog. So lift the hips up and back. Spread your palms. And just begin to pedal your feet and rock your hips some. Play and move about. And then begin to lower your knees back down and sit yourself back to a child's pose again. So bringing hips back towards the heels, bow yourself down. Few breaths, emptying and filling into the space behind your heart. And then come on up to your tabletop again. And you're going to extend your right leg back behind you. So just floating that leg in the air. Have your hips leveled off. And reach your left arm forward. Take a couple breaths here. One more. And then lower your left toes. You're going to keep your right leg extended and bring the ball of your foot to the floor. We're going to do just a few pulses here, just a little bit of work for the glutes. You're going to just lift and squeeze and lower for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let your leg lift. And then swing that leg out to the side and reach your right arm up. And then lower it down. And reach that arm up and rotate through the chest. And lower down. And just move like that with your breath. Some of you might want to take that arm and as you rotate the chest through, maybe you sweep that arm under. And then go ahead and let that arm reach up towards the ceiling. Maybe you give your wrist a little bit of a spin or open and close your palm. And eventually you might take that arm and wrap it around your back. Press into your left hand, rotate your chest open a little bit more. And then bring your hand down and bring your leg in. Let's walk palms forward and take a downward facing dog in between sides. So lift up and back. Good, and then lower your knees to the floor. Just gonna walk our hands back towards our knees and sit back on our heels for a moment. So just giving the wrists a break. Hands can rest on the lap, eyes can close here. Let's take a couple more breaths. And then let's crawl back forward into our tabletop and let the left leg extend. And reach the right arm forward. Hold here, steady, strong. And then the right hand's gonna lower down. You're gonna bring the ball of the left foot to the floor. And we're gonna do those little pulses again. So squeezing and lowering down. For 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then circle your leg out to the side. You're going to press into your right hand, sweep your left arm up, let your chest rotate, and then exhale and bring it back down. Inhale and open up, and exhale, lower down. You might reach the arm up and, like I said before, kind of dip down low and sweep the arm through. And then reach the arm up to hold, and maybe you give your wrist a little bit of love. And then take that arm and swing it around your back, press into your right hand, rotate your chest open just a bit more. And lower your hands to the floor, bring your knee in. You're gonna walk your hands forward and come into that downward facing dog again. So lift your hips up and back. Take some time to adjust. Few more breaths here. And then walk your feet forward. Keep your upper chest hanging down. And we'll just come into a deep forward fold. And allowing yourself to just drape over your thighs. Let your head go. Find a little bit of swing, a little bit of sway. And then listen to your feet. And allow your arms to sweep up and overhead, reaching. And then draw your palms in towards the center of your heart. Step your feet a little bit closer in towards one another. And release your arms down by your side. Have the palms face forward. Roll the thumbs back slightly, broaden across the heart and the chest. Good. From here, we're just going to warm up and loosen the shoulders with a little bit of arm circles. So You're gonna take your arms up overhead and then crossing one arm in front of the other, just let your arms circle down. And then bring your arms up and cross them in the opposite direction. And do that a few more times. So each time the arms are up and overhead, go ahead and cross them in the opposite direction. A little bit of a workout for the brain as well. And the next time the arms are up overhead, go ahead and pause. And we're going to go ahead and reach them out. So circling them in the opposite direction. And again, you're doing that alternating cross of the arms. And take it a few more times. And then release the shoulders down, arms down, and take them on a few generous rolls backwards. And a few generous rolls forward. Good. Sweep the arms up overhead. And just a little reaching side to side. So feeling that stretch into the side body and the waist. And then as you reach up with both arms, pause for a moment. And then you're going to catch your right wrist with your left hand. Reach up and over. Take a few more breaths. And then inhale up and reverse. Catch the opposite wrist with your hands. Reach up and over. And then inhale up. And exhale. Let the arms float down. And go ahead and bring a hand to the heart and a hand to the belly. You might dip your chin down. And just take a few breaths. And go ahead and turn to the side of your mat. So facing one of the long edges of your mat, you're going to stand right in the middle of your mat and open your feet nice and wide. Okay. Bring hands to your hips, and we're going to come into warrior two. So rotate your right foot so that it faces one of the short ends of your mat. You're going to turn it out at a 90-degree angle. And then go ahead, or a 45-degree angle, and turn your left toes in a little bit. And we're going to bend and straighten that front leg. So go ahead and bend the leg. And go ahead and straighten. And bend the knee. And straighten. Do it a few more times on your own, maybe going slightly deeper with each pass, each round. And then go ahead and bend that knee to hold and bring your arms out so they're level with the horizon. Look out over that right middle finger. Relax the shoulders down. Take a couple of breaths here. And then straighten your front leg. You're going to bring that left hand to your hip and reach up and back. Feel the length of your rib cage, length of the waist. Maybe turn your head and take a peek over that left shoulder. And then come on up. You're going to keep that left hand on your hip and you're going to reach forward like you're stretching to shake somebody's hand. And then just lower that hand down so you get as much length in the sideways as possible. Roll the chest open and let that left arm step on top for triangle pose. And then come on up. Good. Bring your hands to your hips, rotate to the side of your mat. Again, swivel your feet in so the toes face in and the heels out some. Go ahead and press into your feet, lift the crown of the head, and then we're just going to bow forward. Bring your hands to the floor. Maybe you soften your knees, gentle press of the hands, bringing the head closer towards the ground. And then bring your hands to your hips, swing your heart forward. Come on up. Good. Step your feet together. You can stay facing the side of your mat. We're just going to come into a little bit of balance. So interlace your fingers right at the heart. Turn your palms forward. Peel the heels of the palms back. You're going to reach arms up overhead and then rise to the balls of your feet. Find a gazing point. Just taking a couple of breaths here. And then lower the heels and float the arms down. Take a big breath in through the nose. And then go ahead and sigh it out. All right. Let's open the feet again. We're going to take that sequence over to the left. So hands on your hips. Turn the right foot in a little bit. Spin the left toes out. And we're going to bend and straighten that front leg a few times just to kind of warm up the inner thigh. Maybe you go deeper with each passage, each round. And the next one you hold. So you bend that knee. You gaze out over the left shoulder and you let the arms reach wide. Hold for a few moments. Good. And then bring the hands to the hips. Straighten your front leg and reach the left arm up as you lean back into the support of that right hand. And take a peek over your right shoulder for a nice stretch to the neck. And then come on up. And we're going to come into triangle pose. So letting the hips feed into that right hand as you reach forward. And then allow your hands to just find a resting place. Roll your chest open. And stack the right arm on top. One more breath. Good. Come on up. Spin yourself sideways. The feet might walk in just a little bit. Hands to your hips. Press into your feet. Reach the crown of the head high. And then as you exhale, bow. Let your fingertips touch down. Good. And then walk your fingertips forward enough that your spine is relatively flat. And your hands drop down right below your shoulders. Reach your hips back and the crown of your head forward. Take a moment here. And then take your right hand to the center. You might be on the very tips of your fingers. Some of you will rest down on your palm. And you're going to sweep your left arm open for a twist. Take a moment here. Gaze wherever it's comfortable for your neck. And then lower your hand down. And we'll go to the other side. Just sweeping that left arm up. Maybe the hand rests on your hip or your back. Sweeping the right arm up. Sorry. And then lower down. Bring hands to your hips. Roll yourself up. Good. We're going to step on up to the front of our mat. So coming on up to the very front of your mat. Now bring your hands to our hips and move through half sun salutation. So inhale, let the arms sweep. And exhale, soften your knees and dive forward. Inhale, let your hands come to your shins and reach the crown of the head forward. Exhale, soften the knees and bow down. Inhale, reach the arms high and wide. And exhale to your heart. Good. And again, inhale, let the arms sweep down, rise up. And exhale, do a big dive down. Inhale, hands press. Swing the heart and the head forward. And exhale, bowing again. Inhale, let the arms sweep, come all the way up. And exhale, bring them in at the heart. Good. This one we'll step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, dive all the way forward. Inhale, press the hands, reach the heart forward. And then as you exhale, bring hands to the floor, walk yourself backwards to a downward facing dog. Take a few breaths. And then tap your knees to the floor. Bring the big toes together, knees apart. We're going to sit back to child's pose for a couple of breaths. And then from your child's pose, you're going to slide down to your belly. And once you arrive on your belly, you can go ahead and fold your hands underneath your forehead and bend your knees and just swing your legs from side to side. And then straighten your legs behind you. And you're going to bend your elbows and bring them into a Cobra position or maybe a push-up position. And then take your hands and move them a little further back so they're more towards your bottom rib cage. And then wrap your elbows in towards your rib cage. Roll your shoulders back. You're going to lift your heart without pressing on your hands. And then lift both legs. Good. And then lift your hands. Squeeze the upper back together. And then lower down. Relax everything. Take a breath. And then bringing hands into a traditional Cobra shape, up by the shoulders. Squeeze the elbows in. We're going to come on up for Cobra. Keep it low. So work the musculature of the back rather than the press of the hands to bring you up. Hold. And then lower down. And push yourself back once again to a child's pose. And then come on up to sit. Just facing the front of your mat. And bring your hands behind you. And go ahead and bend your knees. Have your hands behind you enough that you're kind of propping yourself up. So don't let yourself slouch back. And press into your palms and lean your chest forward. We're going to swing your legs back and forth. You're going to drop your legs down towards the right and look over your left shoulder. And let your legs come back up. And then drop your legs down to the left look over your right shoulder. And just go back and forth like that. So swinging your legs side to side. And if your butt did a big walk forward, go ahead and bring it back. We're going to come to the center and then drop your legs down to the right. And as you drop them down to the right, go ahead and just adjust yourself so that your legs aren't bunched up or stacked one on top of the other, but they're kind of staggered. And then you're going to take your upper body and walk to the outside of your right thigh or your right hip, walking your hands and pressing and twisting. Take a moment here. And then you might come down onto your forearms. So giving that a try, maybe you drop on down. Try to get both forearms down. So a lot of times people think they can only lower the one, but if you just square your chest off to the floor, the other one will just drop into place. Take another few breaths. Even though there might be a lot of pressure on the belly, see if you can still access that deep, smooth breath. Another breath. And then come on up to your palms. Come around to the front. Open your feet. And we're going to drop down to the other side. So just go ahead and drop your legs down to the left. And again, you want to adjust yourself so that your legs aren't stacked one on top of the other, but that left foot is coming into the right thigh. And then begin to twist the upper body. So taking your hands to the outside of your left thigh, beginning to walk around in a semicircle. You might stay upright with your hands pressing and doing work, or you might decide to drop down. Again, working to get both forearms down to the floor. And continuing to breathe. Take a few more moments. And then press into your palms and swing your legs all the way around to the front. And we're going to come back down onto our backs. So as you come onto your back, you can squeeze your knees in towards your belly, giving yourself a little bit of relief in that lower back. Good. And then keeping the knees in at the belly, go ahead and let the arms come out wide. The thighs and shins are going to come close into one another. And then notice if your pelvis is tilting forward and your lower back is arching away from the floor. And see if you can pull the knees in a little bit closer and squeeze the lower back to the floor. Try to maintain that. And do just a little bit of core work, a little bit of oblique work here. You know what? The legs pivot over to the right, but they're going to hover off the floor. And then come on back through the center and let your legs pivot over to the left and hover off the floor. And go back and forth like that a few times. Good. Come back to the center. Go ahead and lower your feet to the floor and swivel your hips to the left. And then bring your knees in and let them fall down and over to the right for a twist. You might take your right hand to the top of your thigh, adjust the upper back so it comes down to the floor more easily, more readily. And then come onto your back. Allow your feet to come to the floor. Scoot yourself back to the center. And then press into your feet. Swivel your hips to the right. Pick your feet up off the floor. Pull them in towards the chest. And let them fall down and over to the left. Try to be heavy in that right shoulder, right corner of your back. And then release. And then come onto our back. Press feet into the floor, and again, straighten your hips out, coming to the center of your mat. Go ahead and squeeze your knees in towards your belly. And then you might take your knees wide. Press your lower back to the floor. Take a few more breaths here. And then lower your feet to the floor. We're going to come to a period of rest. So in yoga, we call this Shavasana. It's just a couple moments for the body to come into stillness, to receive the benefits of the practice. It's like a time of digestion. So ideally, we have the time to rest and be still after we've eaten a big meal. So this is kind of like that. So you give the body time to digest and incorporate all of the stretching and strengthening and mindfulness that you've offered it over the course of this last hour. And if you find that in these final few moments, as you lie in stillness, your mind is drifting or wandering, try to concentrate on your breath. Easy breath in, followed by easy breath out. And then slowly allow your breath to deepen. And taking a big breath in through the nose, holding it for a moment, and then opening your mouth and sighing it out with some noise. And doing it again. Take a big breath in through the nose, drawing in, filling, 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 pause, and sigh it out. And then bringing knees in towards your chest, carefully rolling off in either direction, and easing yourself up to a seat. And then once you arrive, just taking a moment, arranging yourself in a way that you can sit up with ease. Feel the breath as it moves through the body and just noticing. So you did a little check-in at the beginning of class, noticing how you felt in your body, in your heart, and your mind, the quality of your breath. So how has that altered or changed? And then draw your palms together at your heart. And take the edge of your thumbs and press them into your breastbone. In yoga, we talk about the heart being located at the center of the heart. So, not so much the anatomical heart, but your spiritual heart, the essence of who you are. Bringing the thumbs in there and using that as a guide to remind you to listen to your heart and be guided by it. And we'll just take a deep bow of gratitude to one another and to Thunder Mist for providing this space to come together and practice yoga. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. Thanks for joining me.